So if you are out there right now, you must be excited for these Samsung Galaxy tablets. I am certainly thrilled that we are getting a Tab S9, S9 Plus, and an S9 Ultra. And you may be wondering, which device should I pre-order? If I'm out there, I'm looking between these devices, is it really worth spending $1,200 on the Tab S9 Ultra, or is it okay to get only a regular Tab S9? In this video, I'm going to be going over all of these devices and comparing them, and I'm also going to compare a lot of the pre-order deals out there to help you to decide which device you should pre-order. So with all that being said, let's get right into it and let's compare these three Samsung Galaxy tablets. So if you look at these three devices, they look amazing, and the one thing you need to know is that these devices are so similar this year. If you're someone who doesn't mind having a smaller device, the Tab S9 is going to be a very strong option for you because all three of these devices now have AMOLED displays. They all have the same latency in the S Pen. I know the Tab S8 had a worse latency in the S Pen, but now it's all the same across all the devices. They all have 120 Hz in their screen. So there's not a lot that's really different with these devices. They also all have the same processing power with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, and the battery life, even though the battery sizes are different, in reality the battery life is going to be very, very similar between all of these because the Tab S9 of course is going to have a smaller battery, but it also has a smaller screen, not drawing as much power. So overall, when you look at all these devices, they are so similar. So the big difference, one of the biggest differences for you is first off going to be price, but also the screen size, and there are some other important things we need to look at as far as these pre-orders and these pre-order bonuses, because the base models have different RAM and things like that, and that may complicate things for you. So if we look at the prices, first off, you do have the Tab S9 that retails at $799, and you spend an extra $200, that will get you the Tab S9 Plus at $999, and if you spend another $200, that gets you the Tab S9 Ultra for $1199. So that is a very expensive Android tablet, and if you want to go even more expensive, you could technically get a model with 16 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, right? All of these devices, by the way, have SD card slots. You can expand your storage, so that is nice and good, right? But you may still wonder, should I spend all that money? Well, of course it depends on how much storage you need and all those things. But if we do look at the base model of the Tab S9, that does come with 128 gigs of storage and only 8 gigabytes of RAM. So if you are wanting more RAM and more storage and you actually want a larger device, I would say the Tab S9 Plus or the Tab S9 Ultra would be good options for you anyway. But right now, if you pre-order these devices, because at launch they have some really good pre-order deals, they are upgrading each of the base models. So they are upgrading your storage and upgrading your RAM, at least on the Tab S9. So that means you can get 12 gigabytes of RAM on the Tab S9 and you can get 256 gigs of storage for the same price that you would normally get the base model. And if you decide to get the Tab S9 Plus or the S9 Ultra, you will get 512 gigabytes of storage and you will still get 12 gigabytes of RAM. So if you are someone who wants to upgrade that RAM, but you actually would prefer the smaller device, this is a really good time to get the Tab S9 with these pre-order deals. And by the way, there are some tremendous trade-in deals out there. So if you have an older tablet, especially something like a Tab S7 or a Tab S6, remember those devices, I'm pretty sure the Tab S7 is already out of Android updates as far as the big operating system updates, right? So this is a really good time to upgrade those older tablets that weren't getting as many software updates. Now you're getting 4 years of operating system updates across the board on these Samsung Galaxy tablets. So it's a good time to upgrade overall, right? But if you wait until after this pre-order deal, well, you are going to only get 8 gigabytes of RAM in the base model of the Tab S9. And when you look at other things like cameras, by the way, that's really one of the only other big differences you're going to see between these models. The Tab S9 only has 1 camera on the rear, and you get 2 cameras on the rear for the Tab S9 Plus and the S9 Ultra. And the S9 Ultra does have 2 selfie cameras. So if you want a little bit of a different look with that selfie camera, maybe for video calls, you do get an extra option there. But outside of those differences, really the only difference you have to look at is simply the size. And I think that's going to be the biggest differentiator, and the accessories. So the Tab S9 Ultra, by the way, it has a backlit keyboard, and you have to spend an arm and a leg to get that backlit keyboard, right? It is very expensive. But the Tab S9 Plus and the Tab S9, they do not have backlit keyboards. So all of these devices, they have slim keyboard covers, and those are cheaper keyboards that don't have trackpads. They are not detachable keyboards. And then they have regular keyboard covers that cost more, and those keyboard covers are detachable. It's very similar to older models where you do have a kickstand back, and then you do have a bottom part, which is of course the keyboard part, and the keyboard does detach from the tablet. So you could have a kickstand when you want, and you could still have a keyboard cover when you want. So the Tab S9 and the S9 Plus, those devices, those specific models, no matter which keyboard you get, they do not have those backlit keys. And that is something I know that is very important to a lot of you. I'm sorry, it is not here. And one other thing I did figure out, I had a little bit of a Q&A actually with Samsung, with some people that were actually working on these devices. I did ask if those older keyboard covers would work, like the keyboard cover from the Tab S8 Ultra, for example. Would that work with the Tab S9 Ultra? And I got a little bit of a mixed response. I didn't get all the details on it, but they did tell me that it would work, the keyboard part would work, but they did say that the back of it wouldn't work because it wouldn't line up. Like the kickstand part, the cameras don't line up, the dimensions are ever so slightly different on the tablets. So they were saying that technically the keyboard part would work, but you might have to get a different back to hold it up. So long story short, I would say for most of you, you're not gonna wanna go through all that work. But I did hear the keyboard covers, all of them are a lot more rigid and a lot more stable, so I can't wait to test that out. Now, if you want the model that is the slim keyboard cover, they are offering 50% off all the slim keyboard covers if you pre-order them with any of your Samsung Galaxy tablets. Of course, that deal's gonna change after this pre-order time is done. So if you're watching this afterwards, I would say you have to really consider the prices to see if they're worth it. But I am gonna be testing all of those out on my channel to let you know which devices and which keyboard covers are good. So please stay tuned to my channel. Now, one of the biggest differences between all of these tablets is going to be the screen size. And you really have to be careful which tablet you choose, because you might want to save a little bit of money, so you might just buy the regular Tab S9. But if you're not going to be happy with the screen size of that tablet, and remember, when the screen size is smaller, the keyboard's a little more cramped too. So if you're not going to be happy with that, don't buy something long term for like 800 bucks that you're not going to like. But if you are someone who wants to travel more, you want to be more on the go, then the Tab S9 is going to give you almost everything you get from the Tab S9 Plus and the S9 Ultra. You're going to get that AMOLED display, you're going to get 120 Hertz, you're going to get that terrific processor, and that processor is very battery efficient. But if you're someone who wants a little more screen size, that's going to bring you between the Tab S9 Plus and the S9 Ultra. Now, a lot of people last year, they saw the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra and they thought it was so exciting to buy. So they went out and they bought this huge 14.6-inch tablet. They thought it was so great until they realized how big it really was. And it was just hard to fit in different places, like airplanes, for example. It was hard to fit on a lap desk. It was hard to fit in all types of places because it was so darn big. And when you factor in the size of the screen and the size of a kickstand, it was just really, really difficult for some people. So a lot of people bought the Tab S8 Ultra and they ended up returning it because they didn't like it. And I don't want that to happen to you. If you are someone who wants the biggest screen size, look, 14.6 inches, that's how big the Tab S9 Ultra is. The regular Tab S9 is only 11 inches. It's a really, really big difference in screen size. But for a lot of people, the Tab S9 Plus will be a really good option. I know it's not the best, and a lot of us are waiting for some big compromise, like, oh my gosh, it's not the best of the best, it's not the most expensive. But the Tab S9 Plus still has the AMOLED display, it still has the amazing performance, it still has the water resistance, it still has the S Pen. You're really just missing one front-facing camera. You're not really missing much by not getting the Tab S9 Ultra. So I think the Tab S9 Plus, if I'm really looking at everyone out there, if you're wanting something that is the middle ground device, you're wanting something that is big enough, but something that's not too small, you're wanting something that isn't the biggest in the world, but you're wanting something that's still portable and lightweight, the Tab S9 Plus is, in my opinion, going to be the best option for most people people as far as screen size goes. The Tab S9 Ultra, on the other hand, is terrific. It's amazing. I'm telling you, when you get a huge 14.6-inch tablet, you're going to be blown away by it. But it's really for those people who watch a lot of content, they watch a lot of movies, and they just want the largest screen possible. Maybe you're someone out there who uses an S Pen, and you just want something that's going to be really, really good for that. I think the Tab S9 Plus, well, it's going to be a little too small for you if you want the biggest of the big, right? If you want that huge canvas to draw on. And there's a lot of my audience who really likes that. They love that larger tablet as well. So it really depends, in my opinion, if you're looking at all these things. You're still going to get water resistance on all of the tablets. You're still going to get 45-watt charging speeds on all of the tablets. You're still going to get the same S Pen latency. You're still going to get 120 hertz. You're going to get gorgeous AMOLED displays with the same brightness, with the same processor. You're really just looking at these three devices and seeing three different screen sizes, a little bit of differences in RAM, and a little bit of differences in the cameras. Those aren't very significant differences, but the size, the screen size is going to be the big thing for most of you. Do you want a larger screen? If you do, I would recommend the Tab S9 Plus or the S9 Ultra. And if you want the largest screen possible, and if you're willing to spend that extra money, the Tab S9 Ultra is going to be great for you. But the Tab S9 Plus is terrific. I think it's a great middle ground for most people. The keyboard cover is a little more comfortable, I'm sure, because it's going to be larger than the keyboard cover for the Tab S9. It's still going to be more portable than the Tab S9 Ultra. It's still going to be fairly lightweight, but it's going to have a large enough screen to get some work done. A lot of people, when they want some lighter laptops out there, they want a smaller laptop, they get a 13-inch screen. So getting a 12.4-inch tablet is very, very reasonable, and I think that's why the Tab S9 Plus is great. But if you want a more portable device to bring with you on the go with the same amount of power, if you want a smaller tablet, a lot of people are clamoring for 8.4-inch Android tablets or 9-inch Android tablets. This is about as small as we're getting right now. 11 inches on the Tab S9. If you want something portable and lightweight to bring with you, I would highly recommend the Tab S9. But if you want something bigger, the Tab S9 Plus or the S9 Ultra are great. And right now, if you pre-order, again, you can get that upgraded storage, you can get the upgraded RAM. So that's why I would say all of these options are great for pre-ordering right now, especially with some pretty good trade-in deals. So please use those links in the description if you are interested. That is a great way to support my channel. Let me know which tablet you're gonna pre-order and what you wanna see on my channel. I'm gonna be covering all of them. I'm gonna talk about my favorite accessories. I'm gonna go over all the keyboard covers and how good they are, and of course I'm going to be reviewing all of these tablets in full. So I hope you like this video. Give me a like, give me a sub to my channel, and stick around for some more Galaxy Tab content. Again, I'm going to be making a lot of it, and use those links if you want to help me out. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you enjoy your life in all these crazy, crazy times.